day one go? Preparation, just how did the guys internalize everything?
It's good. I mean, it's just practice and getting ready to play a game. You know, it's not rocket science or brain surgery. So it's, you know, just hopefully did as, you know, like I said yesterday, did as much as we needed to and as little as we needed to.
You're pretty happy with how loose the guys seem going into this situation?
I mean, I think they're gonna, you know, obviously everybody's gonna, you know, they're excited for the opportunity, but you know, that opportunity happens tomorrow at 3. You prepare well and you get ready to play. You have to balance that urgency and that humility and everything else with, you know, a belief and a confidence, and you have to do that. If you don't do that, you're not going to be successful no matter what. So these guys have been through a lot of this stuff. This isn't their first time they've played in pressure games. Obviously, we don't have near the experience that a LeBron James does in the playoffs. We don't have anybody that does on our team. Collectively, we probably don't have that total number. But, you know, at the end of the day, you know, we have to focus on us playing well. And, you know, one of the things that I think is really important is everybody else is talking about it being a different game or a different sport. You know, it's basketball. You've got to play basketball well for 48 minutes to win. We expect them to play excellent. And that's part of the problem. You know, they're a really talented team.
Is that almost a good thing?
Under no illusion, you're more talented. How do you build an environment of belief and confidence selling that line? You know, we have to play really, really well.
No, I mean, I just think, Jay, we've talked about it all year. We have to be stars at what we do. You know, we don't have to. You know, we're not asking Tyler Zeller to break a press by himself here. You know, we've got to be stars at what we do. We've got to be great in our roles, and you know, if you collectively do that, then you give yourself a chance. And against the best of the best, all you are giving yourself is a chance. And then you have to get over the hump by making plays, and those type of things have to happen. Again, it's easier said than done, and you know, it's why they're picked by many to represent the East and by some to win it. And so I think that you know, they have a bigger margin, and that's okay. I mean, we've got to figure out how we can play best on every possession, focus on every possession, and see where we stand.
A lot of your guys haven't played in the playoffs before. How do you keep them from trying to go 100 miles an hour at the start of the game and just calm down and play their game?
It might. I won't be. You know, and I think that the bottom line is that some of that's to be expected. It's also to be expected that you want to play perfectly, and nobody's ever played a perfect basketball game. So you can't hold yourself to those standards. You just have to do what you do well. And again, we're not talking about, you know, and you know, I've had a person that I work with used to say is we're not talking about, you know, sitting at our desk and watching film on our own. We're talking about somebody trying to distract us from doing it well, right? And that's hard. And these guys are physical and long and athletic and smart and good. And so, you know, they're going to try to keep us from playing well, and we've got to just do our best to do as well as we can on both ends of the floor.
How do you keep them calm? I mean,
I just stand over there and whistle. I don't know. I mean, I think, hey, you have to balance. You can't be cool. So you've got to be poised, I think is maybe a better word, because you can't be going anything less than your max. You have to play with urgency. You have to play with grit. You have to play with toughness. Sometimes it's tough to keep your poise when you're doing that. But again, these guys have played in big games where that's been required all the way through their basketball careers, not just in the NBA. So that's part of it, and I think we're going to find out who does it best. And I think that's something I'm looking forward to seeing.
Now that you're deep into the game planning process for Game 1, and when you look back, how helpful was it to play them twice? Obviously, they were only almost full go once during the final week, but seeing them twice in the final week of the regular season.
You know, maybe you know, provide some more familiarity for me from a standpoint of film and watching them play before when they were at full strength, especially before the first time we played them. But you know, obviously, some of those two games are not applicable probably to what you're going to see tomorrow. So tomorrow's going to be a great environment. They're going to play great, and you know that going in. it's the first playoff game for some of their better players. You know, they've got the best playoff performer in the last few years on their team, and so, you know, we're gonna just, again, this is why we have to focus on us just playing well. It's not about anything else other than, you know, how do we get ourselves to play well.
Do you think they're overconfident?
Cavs? No, I don't expect that. You know, I think at the end of the day, people are excited to play in these meaningful games. And, you know, I think that, you know, throughout the course of a game, you have different reactions from a human nature standpoint. But I think when you certainly, things go against you, you can't get too down from our standpoint. If things go for you, you can't get too up from our standpoint. But at the end of the day, I think everybody's focused going in. I don't expect, that's why I expect us to have to play really well.
Irving's the guy.
You know, talking about boys and talking about them being all excited and just kind of hanging in there and believing in yourself and, you know, staying the course as you go about this.
Yeah, I think that's, I mean, I think, again, I think you have to balance, to be good in this sport, you have to balance some humility with a good sense of belief and confidence. And that's a fine line. And, you know, it often gets tilted over either way. You know, you don't want to play fearful and you don't want to play arrogant. And I think if you can balance that and walk that fine line, then you give yourself the best chance of winning.
Irving's the guy who, over the last couple of years, has had very good games against you guys. How much switch you do on him? I mean, is Avery the assignment on him?
We'll have a number of guys guarded. Yes. Yeah. You know, Irving's had good games on everybody, so we're not unique to that. He's a really good player. He's a great scorer. You know, we've had, you know, obviously he's only played against us twice this year. And last year we had moments where we actually guarded him pretty well with multiple different guys. It's easier said than done. Part of the reason why he's even better is because of who's around him. You know, there's more room to operate with Kevin Love. There's more room to operate with LeBron James and J.R. Smith standing out there shooting waves. So, and those bigs rolling to the rim. So he's a problem. He's one of the better players in the league. And, you know, that's the one thing that I think they always will have on the court is they'll always have a guy that most people consider to be a top 10, 15 player in the league always on the court. And that's difficult.
Does Gerald get a run?
He might. Did well in practice yesterday.
Are you shortening the rotation for playoffs?
Play it by ear, we'll see how it goes. But no, I'm planning on playing the guys I've been playing.
Why do you think there is a notion, I mean, even among players, that playoff experience is important? I mean, if it is, like you said, it's
something
ultimately
to
the
talk.
same.
I think it's something to talk about. I think the intensity level is probably, you know, it's probably very real. I think the 48 minutes, it's going to be more urgent, right? Because your season's on the line. And again, you know, I think that's why you have to focus on keeping it simple and being yourself. You know, it's very similar to, you know, from everything that I've been through from the standpoint of the tournament. You just feel the tension in the air feels a little bit different. I think that's the best way to put it. So, and I've never coached in a playoff game, but you know, even being a fan, you can tell that at a number of playoff games. But, you know, again, I think that if we are going to say that this is such a unique and different thing, and we don't have near the experience, that's probably not a good thing, right? So let's say that there's a power in being naive, and let's go play well.
Sometimes that tension in the air brings the best out of some players. Do you think that you have some guys with that type of makeup?
Time will tell. That's a beautiful part of this experience. We'll find out.
What's it been like for you to have 2 days to focus on the same team and prepare for one team?
I mean, it's, you know, as I said yesterday a little bit, it's, you know, I've had to trim down all the stuff that we have a little bit because I want to make it as simple as we can for our players and make it as simple as we can for me. And I think that's why you work to make it concise. And it's why a lot of hours go into it from the assistant coach's standpoint, the video guy's standpoint. Try to make it as simple and easy as possible and just get down to the meat of what you need to do.
Thanks.